This week on the High School Sports Zone, local football stars will be shining bright in the upcoming NFL Draft. We'll have the story. This Woodlands product will have his name called early in the draft and will flash back to his high school career. Back in the present, spring football remains on hold for teams across the state, and we'll have reaction to the ongoing suspension of play.
It's going to be quite an adjustment, but we're all in the same boat, so we're going to have to make it work.
And it's a unique signing day celebration while keeping social distance. Hey, we're not far away. The High School Sports Zone starts now.
This is the High School Sports Zone with Todd Freed, presented by Xfinity.
Hello everyone and welcome to the High School Sports Zone, coming to you this week from Galena Park ISD Stadium, home of the back-to-back state champion North Shore Mustangs. Hey, this would have been a big time on the gridiron with the start of spring football, but that's not happening in the wake of the coronavirus. For reaction, we made our way to Foster High School.
As a perennial powerhouse with lots of returning firepower, the Foster Falcons were anxiously awaiting the start of spring football. But not only did it never start in the wake of the coronavirus, it most likely isn't happening at all.
But it's going to be different for the majority of us that do spring, just because a lot of questions are answered and you get to evaluate a lot of kids going into the 7-on-7 in summer. I think that, the one thing that football coaches do really well, I think, is adapt and overcome. So it's just one of those deals you get with your network.
Nonetheless, there are big challenges to be met. Challenges that no one could have accounted for during this indefinite break.
I consider this kind of the first quarter of our season. Off season being the first quarter, second quarter being spring football, third quarter being, summer conditioning, and fourth quarter being the season. Well, we don't have a first quarter right now. It's kind of been, we're at halftime that never ended, so this has been the longest spring break ever.
So during this downtime, Coach Sean McDowell is keeping busy and as knowledgeable as possible.
I've done a lot of research online. There's so much Twitter content and football and just coaching content, and so many people are willing to share how they do this and how they do that, and it's been great. So it's been keeping my time.
As for the time well spent by his players, there's plenty of active communication and workouts to be done. Regiments are issued via Twitter, and it's not just the players who are joining in.
Twitter's been our main contact to try to get contact with our kids. They're taking pictures of their workouts. We've got community members doing it, so you can think about it being like a hotel WOD or a non-equipment workout of the day that kids and everybody can use. So I've got a lot of positive feedback on that from kids from all over, and like we got a guy in town that says, hey, keep it going because I'm using this too to work out.
In the meantime, Coach McDowell and coaches across the state will continue to adjust accordingly during a time of unprecedented uncertainty, all the while preparing best as possible for the ultimate return to the gridiron.
I got multiple calendars working right now. One that starts that we can get going in May, one that starts that we can get going in June, one that starts we can get going in July and in August. I mean, you just kind of plan for it, and just got to be ready for it. I think if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. So I think the majority of us want to be in control of something, and right now the only thing we can be in control of is having a plan, so when it does come down, we can be ready.
And for more on the current state of football, we are happy to bring in the head coach of the back-to-back 6A state champion North Shore Mustangs, John Kay, keeping our social distance. Coach, thanks for joining us. And spring football, let's face it, it's not going to happen. How tough is that for you and a lot of other programs?
I think it's just been such a rite of passage, not just here at North Shore, but throughout Texas, that great chance for your kids to be evaluated both at the high school level and the college level. And, we've relied on it so much in my years here. So it's going to be quite an adjustment, but we're all in the same boat, so we're going to have to make it work.
So how do you adjust accordingly?
Well, I think it's looking to see how that changes from what we're used to doing in the spring. to that extra week in the fall. That's a little bit scarier because you're right up against the start of the season. And we say it every year after the first day of spring, imagining, what would that be like being that close to game time and that young as a football team. So for us, I think the biggest challenge is going to be editing ourselves and making sure we're not doing too much that close to the start of the season like we're accustomed to doing in the spring. And it's going to be an adjustment for sure.
There is so much uncertainty right now. We really have no idea when you guys are going to be able to practice again. It's really tough. How do you plan for something like that? And what do you tell your kids?
I think our biggest adjustment right now with our kids is academics, is making sure that they're doing the things that they have to do in the schoolhouse to receive the credit, receive the grades that they need. And we're really waiting for some direction before we start sinking our teeth fully into the football aspect of things. My fear is if we do too much too soon, that's going to get old and become cumbersome when we need it the most, closer to the time that we're going to be able to start. So right now, the coaching staff, we're focusing on making sure our kids are in contact with their teachers. They're doing things on Google Classroom and on Zoom with the academics. That's going to allow them to be promoted and move into the next grade. And we'll handle the football stuff as it comes.
Are they working out over Zoom?
Well, there's a few of them they're not shy about showing us, whether it's through TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, of what they're doing. But again, we're careful not to encourage too much, because our kids will be the first one out there in the street just not paying any attention to the things that we need to do through the CDC in the city of Houston.
In our next segment, we're going to focus on the NFL draft. How exciting is it for you to see Clavon Chason? Probably going to go high in that first round.
Oh, very, very excited for him. We're really proud of him. I wish the circumstances were different so that he could truly celebrate this the way some people in the past have. But, he's Clavon. He's going to make do with what he's got right now, like he's always done throughout his career. I know he's excited. We're excited for him. The entire community's excited, and just can't wait for that day to get here.
You're getting a new field here. Hopefully you can use it sometime in the near future.
Yeah, I think our district's done a great job of making sure that the students have what they need and the teachers. And, we're preparing for that time that they give us the okay. It's not here yet, so we're real careful in what we're doing. But when that time comes, we'll be ready to go.
All right, Coach John Kay, head coach of the back-to-back state champion North Shore Mustangs.
Coming up next, NFL Draft Day should be a huge day for several local football products. Plus, this former Woodlands Highlander is climbing fast on the NFL draft ladder. We'll take a flashback look at Antoine Winfield Jr. This is Season 10 of the High School Sports Zone with Todd Freed.
Welcome back to the High School Sports Zone, on location this week at Galena Park ISD Stadium, home of the state champion North Shore Mustangs. Well, when the NFL draft gets underway next week, you can expect many local products to have their names called. Many of them in the first round. Guys like Clavon Chason, who played his ball right here at North Shore and then won a national championship at LSU. Also, C.D. Lamb from Foster, a wide receiver sensation who then went to Oklahoma, and many, many more from Greater Houston. And for more on the upcoming NFL draft, we welcome in Vite Media Chief Content Officer Matt Malatesta. Good to see you. Keeping our social distance.
For sure.
All right, so we talked about so many great players from here. Who do you expect to go first among Greater Houston players in the first round?
Well, with 12 to 15 kids going to go, everybody's thinking C.D. Lamb from Foster, the big receiver, played at OU, tremendous career. He's the number one guy that's going to come off the board.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Next, Clavon Chason, you think?
Oh, for Clavon, what he does is he could play multiple positions, maybe put his hand on the ground, possibly as a DN, outside linebacker. People are talking to the Dallas Cowboys. How cool would that be for him to play back in the state of Texas? But supreme elite talent, could put on some more weight as well as he gets into the program. He's a special guy.
And as we talked about, played his high school ball right here in this stadium, led North Shore, or helped lead North Shore to a state championship in 2015. Incredible state final. I'll never forget it.
I tell you what, he was a huge part of that. The last play, I think he was kind of banged up in that game anyways, but special player. He's going to have a 10-year career in the NFL.
How about the Elkins Knights with two players potentially going in the first round for Elkins?
I tell you what, Kenneth Murray is a beast. I think he's a guy that's a little underrated. Tall, rangy linebacker, sideline to sideline, fits the NFL game perfect. Ross Blacklock, big interior guy. He played at TCU, did a tremendous job with the Big 12.
And then from Fort Bend Bush, guy went to U of H. really rising his stock, Josh Jones.
Well, what I love about him is that he played so much basketball growing up with him and his brother. His dad's a referee. This guy's so athletic, but he's so big. He can bend, he can move, he can run. He's going to be another guy, a tackle in the league for probably a decade.
And from your neck of the woods, Antoine Winfield Jr., he's really come on, and he could also go in the first round from the Woodlands Highlanders.
Yes, he had a really kind of weird time at Minnesota. But he just kept grinding out. He was kind of banged up a little bit, but he just kept playing and kept playing. And he's a little undersized also for the NFL game, but this guy is a great safety. He's graded well at everything. He's got the bloodline also, like his dad played for years for the Minnesota Vikings. This guy's going to be a steal of the draft here.
All right, another name of note, probably won't go in the first round, maybe round 3 or so, but grew up in this neighborhood, went to school down the street at Channelview. Quarterback Jalen Hurts, headline name, and it'll be nice to see him get drafted as well.
Don't sleep on him, man. He's a guy that could move up in the top 2 rounds. Again, very versatile guy. He only does is win. He's very coachable. He's the son of a coach. So you know when he gets onto an NFL team, he's going to be the first one in the locker room, the last one out.
A couple other names who may go in the top 2, 3, 4 rounds.
Well, there's a bunch. You got Jordan Elliott, the West Side defensive tackle. He played his college ball at Missouri. Darius Anderson for George Ranch won a state championship in 2015. He's at TCU. Really, really good running back. Tyree Cleveland, long-rangey receiver from Westfield, played at Florida, likely a free agent.
All right, well, Matt, thanks very much. Great insight. We look forward to the draft next week. And one of the guys we just talked about from the Woodlands, Antoine Winfield Jr. Well, back in 2015, we profiled him, and you could tell even back then that he was destined for a great career, especially when you consider his family legacy. Let's go back to 2015 and our profile of Antoine Winfield Jr. As captain of one of the top defenses in Greater Houston, Antoine Winfield Jr. needs only 3 words to describe how he plays.
Smart, physical, and aggressive.
Antoine, he's a great kid, and you know, he's been a varsity player for us for 3 years. This will be the 3rd year, and you know, he brings a tremendous amount of experience and leadership to our football team.
I lead by example. I do whatever I can to boost everybody up so they can just make plays and they're just there and they can feel my vibes, and I try to get everybody going. What do I enjoy most? Making big plays. Those are the most exciting moments when you get to make a big play. So that's really what I love about the sport.
He's not afraid to take risks. He wants to make plays, and the majority of the time he does make plays. And so he's a big part of what we do on a defensive side of the ball, and he's a huge part of our special teams game.
My favorite moment was against LaPorte. I had a punt return that was ridiculous. I don't know how to describe it. It was just crazy.
Besides him being a great player, he brings all those other intangibles. You know, he's an outstanding young man. He leads by example. He's just a great kid to have on your football team.
A great kid who has a great example in his father, Antoine Winfield Sr., a star defensive back who played in the NFL for 14 years.
He's been my biggest influence. I mean, I look up to him. He's my mentor. He taught me everything that I know about football. We work together. I mean, he's just all around just a great person and a great mentor.
He works hard, great student, great son. I couldn't ask for anything more right. He's the perfect gentleman.
He has his high school film at our house, and we always watch it. And just the way that we play it's so similar. It's crazy. Like, even everybody in my family says it too. Just the way that we tackle and just the way how we look, it's just so similar. It's crazy.
He's better than I was at his age right now. He's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. He's just a great football player.
And with such high praise,
could the NFL be in the future for Antoine Winfield Jr.?
The sky's the limit. If he continues to work hard, stays healthy, I definitely see him playing in the pros.
That's my dream. That's ever since I was a little kid, that's all I wanted to do. Watching my dad play, it's just like you looking up to like your pops, so you just want to play in the NFL just like how he did.
But first, there's unfinished business in this, his senior season.
First, I want to win district, go undefeated in district, and hopefully make it to state and win that state ring.
Coming up next, we'll continue our series on the Allegiance Bank Teams of the Year. And also ahead, a unique signing day celebration while maintaining social distance. And Todd's dog Sadie returns in spectacular fashion. This is Season 10 of the High School Sports Zone with Todd Freed.
Welcome back to the High School Sports Zone. I'm Todd Freed, coming to you this week from Galena Park ISD Stadium, home of the 6A state champion North Shore Mustangs. Well, the 5A state champion this past season was the Shadow Creek Sharks. And as we continue our special Allegiance Bank Team of the Year series, the week leading into state, we honored the Sharks as our Allegiance Bank Team of the Week.
On this, their final practice of the football season, the Shadow Creek Sharks prepared for a second straight berth to the 5A Division I state finals. Incredibly enough, doing so in just its second season of varsity football. 2 for 2 is about as good as it gets.
At the end of the day, you know, we've got some very talented players and some good coaches, and you know, I'd like to say that it's the people that make a place special, and I think we've got good people here.
Good people and great players who've propelled the Sharks to an improbable 30 victories in its 31 varsity games. Players like Virginia Tech defensive end signee Alec Bryant.
Hard work and dedication. We got the best coaching staff in the state right here, so we just listen to them, we bought into the program, you know, and we win football games.
Winning football games in dominant fashion. Offensively, the Sharks have lit up the scoreboard for nearly 50 points a game over an undefeated 15-game stretch.
I think we've just progressed and grown all year. You know, Kyron has stepped in at quarterback and has just continued to improve week after week, and we just tried to pride ourselves on becoming more efficient, you know, as we go.
Oh, we have a lot of weapons, a lot of D1 players. Kyron Jones came in here, stepped up as a junior after not playing a lot last year and doing good this year.
Weapons on special teams as well. This opening second-half kickoff return from C.J. Guidry helped propel the Sharks' 45-21 state semifinal win over San Antonio Wagner.
I wanted to return it, but it was like if I didn't, oh well. But when I came out and I caught it, I was like, I have to return it, and I did. I just follow my blockers, follow my and deal with my teammates, and help me to do it. And I did what I had to do and ran it back.
And bolstered by a dominant defense that's limited opponents to a mere 10 points a game, this Sharks team has answered the challenge and then some of repeating last season's undefeated run to the state finals. And we're here on campus at Shadow Creek. Along with the Sharks, I'm joined by Scott Lester of Allegiance Bank. Scott?
Yes. Congratulations, guys, on a big win last week. Good luck at state. And, Coach, we have this plaque as the Allegiance Bank Team of the Week.
Yeah! Coming up next, a creative and special signing day celebration for a St. Agnes Academy water polo goalie. Plus, Todd's dog Sadie makes a bid for the play of the week. This is Season 10 of the High School Sports Zone with Todd Freed.
Welcome back to the High School Sports Zone. I'm Todd Freed. In the wake of social distancing, a signing day ceremony scheduled for this week looked to be a no-go for St. Agnes Academy water polo standout Abigail Shelby, who's heading to Villanova. But much to Abigail's shock and pleasant surprise, her teammates, coaches, friends, and family joined forces for a surprise celebration in her front yard. Everyone keeping proper social distance, of course. They even set up a decorated table for a mock signing with the Villanova fight song blasting out as well. But wait, there was even more. How about a car parade right in front of the home? They were honking their horns, cheering for Abigail, lots of signs as well. You know, it's been a difficult and heartbreaking few weeks with the water polo season canceled due to the coronavirus, but at least Abigail, an all-state goalie, will have this special memory from her senior season. Great scene for sure. And we wish Abigail the best at Villanova. Well, what do you do for a play of the week when there's literally no games being played? Well, of course, you turn to your trusty dog, Sadie. At age 15, here comes Sadie with the amazing leap over at my friend's backyard. Then, in equestrian fashion, she did it again. Not too shabby for a senior citizen. I mean, in human years, she's like 105 years old. Way to go, Sadie Freed, your high school sports zone play of the week. So proud of that dog. Great job, Sadie. Well, that wraps up this week's show from Galena Park ISD Stadium. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next week, stay in the zone.